Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about the impending doom of this roster. This is serious. Cap mode time, bro. Cap mode. Yeah. So this is this is really starting to look like a rebuild year for the Cowboys. A lot of bad momentum, a lot of bad juju, karma, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know, sometimes you hear about teams having a Super Bowl hangover. The losing team from the Super Bowl usually has a bad year afterwards, right? You hear stuff like that, and for the Cowboys, I think they have this issue too. I mean, not that they've made the Super Bowl in decades, but it seems like the way they went out in this last playoff game, everything is just snowballing in the wrong direction. All right. And I get the cap. I get where you can massage the numbers and this and that. You can actually find ways to keep these players and this sorts of thing. But by now, if you've been watching the Cowboys here for the last 10 years, if you're a new fan or a young fan, you know that this is Stephen Jones calling the shots, right? We no longer make splashes. Where Jerry Jones, right or indifferent, he would make splashes. You know what I mean? By bringing in a free agent, making a splash in free agency. Those days are over. They've been over. Now it's about overpaying players, paying them before they should get paid, and then just kicking the can down the road and bloating the contract, and then the Reaper comes calling. So this is not a good position for the Cowboys at all. They're going to try to trade Amari Cooper. I don't know if you can do that. They kind of let the cat out the bag, and this is where they really struggle. They really, really struggle with this kind of crap, man. Where they say they're going to do this and they leak it out. They leak it out. The Dallas Cowboys, they're a media juggernaut. You know what I mean? They have a lot of power in the NFL, and they know how to manipulate the narrative. They know how to do it. That's an expertise that they are on top of it. So moving on from Cooper, it's not going to help the Cowboys. It's not going to help Dak. It just is not. To think anything otherwise is a pipe dream. He struggled without him, and before we had him, we had this, this wide receiver by committee crap. And if CD doesn't step up to be that legit number one, we're going to be stuck in that rut again. So a lot of pressure on the young player for CD Lamb to step up in that position. I think he can do it, but he's got to clean up a lot of his of the drops. He's got to clean that crap up. Now they're talking about Demarcus Lawrence. Obviously, that came out last night, so I want to speak on that. Demarcus Lawrence, obviously, he's getting paid a lot. They're not going to be able to trade that contract. That contract was poorly made, all right, and so that's going to be a release. They're going to have to release Demarcus Lawrence, and the writing's kind of on the wall. Kind of an aging player. Injuries are really creeping up on him. Misses time. Not really your legit sack specialist. You know what I mean? So, you can make an argument, for that, but he's the leadership of the defense. And we saw when he came back from injury, the defense went up another level and they got back on track. You know what I mean? There was a little lull there, between, DeMarcus's injury. Well, there was a lull there, but when he came back, he gave him that little juice. So no more, they're going to move on from that. So how does this affect the draft? All right. So first off, let's just go under the assumption, or let's go under the hypothetical scenario that neither Cooper or DeMarcus are here. And I've kind of talked about this way early in my draft videos. If you go back, I kind of predicted a lot of this stuff happening, and I'm not even sure if they're done yet. And there might be some other guys to get cut here, guys. So get ready for it. These were the two main ones that I had targeted way early in this process. So none of this is really surprising me at all. It is a bummer, and it will affect the team. Now, how does it affect the draft? So does wide receiver automatically become your number one need? Does defensive end automatically become your number one need? For me, I'm I'm sticking to my guns. All right, I'm sticking to my guns. It's still O-line to me. Still O-line. All right, so that O-line, they cannot roll that same O-line out or we're in big-ass trouble. All right, they got to fix it. You got to get a guard at least. All right, so that's still my main target. Wide receiver, they'll probably throw a free agent there, maybe like a low level, maybe like an Allen Robinson on a 1 year deal, or a Juju, or one of these that has like a kind of a name recognition, But we've done this name recognition crap before and it didn't really work. So they're probably gonna try to bring back Cedric Wilson. All right. So you guys, if they're gonna roll with Lamb and Cedric Wilson, and you need another slot, so they're gonna have to add some more bodies in here. So that'll be coming here once free agency comes. We'll be looking at week 3 and 4 for them to really get going. They don't really do anything week 1, week 2. It's always 3, 4, and here at the end. Offensive guard. Now you could skip offensive line in that first round, and that would open the door for filling that end need or that wide receiver need. Who are the names? All right. Wide receiver, Chris Olave would be one. Traylon Burks might actually fall there, but I do not feel confident in Kellen Moore utilizing him. So I kind of want to stay away from Traylon Burks, but he would be a name that might be there because his combine was not what we thought it was going to be. The numbers were okay. The explosiveness was not really there with the the vert and the broad and this sorts of things. So Chris Olave would be one for me. Garrett Wilson, but I have a feeling these guys might not be there. All right, now you might be able to get somebody in the second round for wide receiver. So let's look at defensive ends. Who could possibly be there? Boye Mafe. That is a name to keep an eye on. When you're talking about some of the last guys that can come off the edge, that have some bend, that have these traits, there's only a few that'll be left. I don't know if any of these guys will make it to the second round. So Boye Mafe, I don't think he'll make it to 56. All right, there's just no way. So you where the Cowboys are at, you almost have to draft a round ahead. Okay, so look at Boye Mafe. Think about Cam Thomas. I think some people forgot about him. San Diego State. Or do they even go another angle? I don't think that these two cuts really shackle you to, we have to do this. We have to get the wide receiver. We have to get a defensive end. I don't think it's that. I think these guys, it's a rebuild. They're gonna add these positions somewhere in the draft, but it's not gonna be where they're shackled, where they're gonna have to make a bad move and force a pick. And if they force a pick, then yeah, they're in trouble. So for me, could be some receivers there, could be some ends. I still at this point rather go. If there's a premier offensive lineman there, Zion Johnson or Kenyon Green, or maybe even Trevor Penning, you gotta take one of them. But these guys really balled out in the combine. They may not be there. None of them might. So we need to be prepared for that. All right. I almost have a feeling the way that everything is kind of shaping up, it almost feels like we're heading towards DB. It's possible that we could go defensive back here with this pick. You think about there's a lot of rumors and whispers that the Cowboys really like the Washington Kyle Gordon and Andrew Booth from Clemson. Those two guys, Daxton Hill, who could play nickel, who could play safety. I think that would be a great player for Dan Quinn to get in the mix. I think Dax Hill might be the target there at the end of the day. It could be him. You know what I mean? So how the way that these two guys get released affects the draft, I don't think it's cataclysmic where it's like instantly, all right, this is automatically the number one need. It definitely becomes a need earlier than you wanted it to. You know what I mean? If we still had both those guys, wide receiver and end, they probably get kicked down a little bit later. But even then, Demarcus Lawrence getting long in the tooth. So is Randy Gregory. All right, so I think edge is going to be an early pick regardless. First 3 rounds. All right, wide receiver. You know, the Cowboys are gonna try to sell you on the idea, that the CD's your number one. We're bringing back Gallup. We're probably gonna bring back Schultz on a tag or an extension, something like that. So you're gonna have a lot of weapons except Cooper. So they'll try to spin it, But guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Does this change your draft plans? All right. Are you shook? All right. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the Cowboys right now. I don't feel good about this team right now. I'll be quite honest, man. And it's not about being super pessimistic. It's just being realistic. Like, they go through these peaks and valleys. And right now, we're going to be in the valley. What you have to hope, guys, is that these guys don't sell the farm to get Sean Payton. Because this really is this is kind of projecting towards a down year. I mean, if you're on a down year, you're going to have a top pick possibly. And what would scare the hell out of me would be like, all right, we want Sean Payton. We'll give you 2 or 3 first-round picks. And then you're screwed. Then you're Seattle. All right? You see Seattle struggling right now. I mean, they're talking about rumors of trading Russell Wilson. They're not. They are. They're not. Because they don't have the picks. They gave up 2 for Jamal Adams. And when you don't have those first-round picks, you're hurting, man. So the Cowboys can't do that crap, bro. That's what really, really scares the shit out of me. But that's all I have now, guys. I'll see you for the next one. Peace.